We'd like to welcome those of you who different guys can be the primary ball handler for Florida State. Calhoun to Koprivica.
What a pass.
And
like he was
Gray lays it in.
Looked like he was out of bounds.
Yeah.
Any offense. That's what Florida State does. They take you out of your offense and make it difficult for you to run your set plays.
Gray. Brooks staying in front of Gray. Gray with an 18-footer that goes down.
What a Harrison Brooks, and a smart one because he backed off just at the end, and MJ Walker wound up missing that shot because he expected it to be blocked or challenged like that before the game starts.
Not a bad idea. Different looking lineup now for the Seminoles as Gray everything but the finish on the drive.
Ball and drive that matchup. Good fake.
And a good look here for Gray. Offensive rebound said to Allison Williams in their interview at the end of the first half. He said there's still 20 minutes to go and, quote, we'll have to play better in the second half than we did in the first to win this one.
You couldn't have scripted this any better than what we're seeing for Nikola Jogo to start off his senior night.
Strong drive for two by
Prentice Hub pulling up with three. He knows this building, and he's been shooting in this building now for 3 years, where Florida State plays here maybe once a year. They don't have the same level.
Calhoun, good ball fake, open three, no. Fight for the rebound. It's Gray, and a chance for three. 15. Gray, working on Jogo, no. And
turnovers. And that's been a difference maker. One of the reasons why they trailed by 19 in the first half.
Gray, the pull up from the baseline, a little strong.
But MJ Walker's got to get going for Florida State. But the thing that Florida State's going to have to do most to get back into this game is on the defensive end.
As Mr. Prentice Hub joins the 1,000-point club, he says, I'd consider it gravy on the home fries. I love that expression. Big bucket for Notre Dame, and a big
found a way to get back into this game early with their defensive pressure to start the second half. Notre Dame has somewhat stemmed the tide until then possession as they got out in transition as the shot goes up. And that was a good block because you can see Durham got his hand on the basket.
It was just his fourth game of the season, and he hadn't played since the end of November because of a knee injury that he had surgery on, and then out of the COVID pauses, of which he admitted afterward he was a little nervous with all those late free throws in the final minute, but he said not too bad. And Scott Spinelli said to us yesterday he was kind of excited that the
Florida State doing a great job switching most of the screens.
Raiquan Gray, the slam off the... Perhaps he settled there for a shot from the outside and missed it, though he has knocked down a couple of threes in this one. Raiquan Gray got the roll. The Seminole D. Raiquan Gray wide open, and that is
for Boston College.
And if you're BC, you got to feel like, Dan, that it's just coming from everywhere, from Florida State offensively. Left in the ACC regular season before things get started on Tuesday in Greensboro. Raiquan Gray, man, he can just back you down, and he's so...
To this Florida State team, and Coach Ham has talked about the fact that bringing him off the bench, you get instant energy when he checks in the game, normally a couple minutes in, instead of 5 after 5 minutes of play, which is a low-scoring affair to both these teams likely.
Kerwin Walton now 1 of 4.
But since then, it's been all Florida State as they've gotten settled, and a lot of that had to do with Scotty Barnes checking into the game.
He's coming out of the stands, I've got to be honest. And by the way, it's good to see Scotty Barnes back on the floor for Florida State after going out with some trailed at the half 41-29. A 13-3 start to the second half as this Carolina team right back in it.
The greatest high school team of all time.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You're just automatically going yes. So
Yes,
you're
now
going
tell me
overball.
why.
And that's where Duke has really improved as a team recently, is on the defensive end of the floor. They're going to have their hands full dealing with Carly Jones.
At point, Carolina lead. Gray gets the foul call against Kessler. Light, that's the 7th on Florida State, and so a 1-and-1 upcoming for Kerwin Walton, who on the year is 10 of 11 at the line. Barnes up the sideline. Stepping into the three is Gray. No. Long rebound.
Nice job getting the ball inside to Brooks. A nice little dump-off pass.
Osborne lost it. Gray found it and scored the first two for Florida State. They sagged off Gray. He steps into the mid-range. Got his own miss. And Gray follows it up, and he's been active on the glass. Gray off a great shot fake. He's had his way with Walker early.
Itself on the flange and just rolled right in.
Yeah, perhaps a thud is more appropriate. Gray missed it. Raiquan Gray's got the rebound. Gray on the attack. Koprivica.
Barnes at 6'9". That's tough.
And there's Raiquan Gray, who got it from Polite from the corner. Gray on the boards, just tipped it in around Alani.
Anthony Walker, I think he's really good in the mid-range and around the basket. He might help a little bit more if he forgot about that three-point shot. And Raiquan matched here tonight, but they keep working at it.
Yeah, and what's been a very trying season for them. Ballard the follow.
We're close to those.
After Hours with Dan Bonner coming up later. Raiquan Gray with a lay-in, building up.
Have been that even though he shoots 35% from beyond the arc on the year, he's 1 for 10, now 1 for 11 in the
Johnson picks up the loose ball. Champagny will follow it in.
Nice job getting the ball inside, penetrating that zone with a pass, and then the good pass from the high post to the low post. 50 pounds, that's what he weighed last year, but in the offseason, he did a great job readjusting and reworking his body to, he still weighs.
A 39-33 Florida State advantage. We'll bring you up to date with what's happening in the ACC as we continue after this. Brown saves. Back to Johnson.
Kansas have had a couple of open shots, Bob, that they've missed.
It is Calhoun, his first. And free throws for Pittsburgh.
Bob, you pound the ball like that with the dribble.
Out shot there by Evans. Pitt down by 4. And they can, a bad pass goes bouncing out of bounds. And the ball's right. Look at this. And right to the chops on Odekali.
To Kihei Clark when he drives into the lane, drives to the basket. He does not shoot a high percentage over length, and you're giving up an open three when you send two defenders out. And figuratively, it's 6'10", but did so much for not only the game and for his players, but for coaches.
Strong. Anthony Polite missed 4 games with a shoulder injury, returned Saturday.
The stage, and what a great opportunity for us to watch a terrific game right after us.
Yeah, Oregon is a very young team. Obviously, lose when Virginia plays. That there aren't a lot of fouls called, and there's a lot of physicality.
State coming off this pause, like Michigan came off the pause yesterday, does it blow you away they can come off a pause and play at this level?
Two, or are they just playing the same two over and over again?
No, those are two different ones.
There's Raiquan Gray open for three. Clark 10 points all in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Reminds you a little bit of the performance he put on at Georgia Tech, where he had not proficient at.
Strong move to the bucket. You want to play 36 minutes and take all the shots. This isn't going to be the place for you.
And heck, he had Patrick Williams.
Osborne getting his first start of the season, number 10 in white. In place of Koprivica, now Gray finds an open space. The light top of the key, nowhere to go. It's a tough angle. Gray grabs it and cleans up the mess on the offensive glass. They 26-5 a season ago. They were set to play Clemson in the quarterfinals, and then they shut it down. They go up top, and it's Gray on the business. Palm Beach, Florida. For the inbounds, second effort, and that's Gray. Light, who did not play in the last 4 games prior to today. It's been a while. That's Gray crashing the glass off the miss. Not in the lineup right now for Wake. Shot clock is down to 7. Game clock to 1:22. Gray with the jumper. Players like to come in fresh right off that bench. Walker unselfishly, and the jam from Gray. This was fenced in. Gray, not enough on it.
Notice whose name we haven't called.
Make it is the question. DeBose has to kick it out. Stolen. Gray past the defenders. He's in for the tomahawk jam.
Does so well. They average 9 steals a game in conference, but they give it away. Raiquan Gray, a great floor game. They felt they should have won those games, and there's no solace in coming up close.
No, he told his team, the message was, look, the truth is we should have won. Yeah, they couldn't close out the first half in either game. Moses right that time. Nobody paid attention to him. He can make that open shot. He can make open 3. Shooter, he's the playmaker. MJ Walker's the shooter. These backcourts, to me, are the best in the ACC right now.
And by the way, they don't have the depth. Their foul trouble becomes a serious issue.
No, they also can't drive the ball to the baseline too much because
held ball possession arrow Georgia Tech.
And Scotty Barnes and Mike DeVoe both went to Montverde Academy. Versatility senior. He played his high school basketball at Dillard High in Fort Lauderdale. I'm looking at him in terms of half-court offense. I'm looking at Scotty.
If that's not working, they're getting to the free throw line.
Well, they're running their hybrid Princeton offense where they set a back screen, get a cutter, then set a ball screen, and they set.
Choose Smile. New year, new smile that costs up to 60% less than braces. Go from this to this. Start your New Year's smile for free.
Florida State was playing, Paul, as well as anybody in the country leading up to this game.
Florida State may want to think about the foul.
Harrington, the walk-on, who's seen some action this year. Ray works on Walker, spins, and leaves.
Koprivica as good as any.
Great steal from Gray on the back end, trying to lead the break, takes it himself, up with the right hand, off glass.
Then when I was being recruited. So now I got a chip on my shoulder still for another team that didn't think I was good enough.
It's a massive oversight by them. Defense has collapsed on drivers on this possession. Gray with a good look from the corner.
He's the path that these guys are on. Koprivica realizing that talent as a sophomore, as predicted by Coach Hamilton.
And it's also why he's on the ballot now for the free throw line for Miami. They're down 11 against Florida State. They've closed it to single digits here in the second half in a series where Florida State has won 5 straight in that stretch. They've vaulted themselves into the top scoring team in the ACC. Easy finish, Raiquan Gray.
And again, the 2-3 zone showed defensively from the Canes. You hit the mid-post and Olmsted, kick back out to Scotty Barnes, who takes a probing dribble, and at 6'9" passes over the deep.
There's a type of question that can arise, too, with an assistant coach who has not yet been a head coach of, well, why don't you leave? Why don't you win against Florida State in the series?
Ray skips one to Wilkes. He can't hit the triple. Offensive rebound. Raiquan Gray flips one up, and it's good. Clyde Trapp is stuffed by Wyatt Wilkes.
Well, Trapp made a strong move to the goal, but Wilkes made a better defensive play.
That floater comes up for Dawes. Another rebound for Koprivica.
You know, I mentioned gospel music, and one of his favorites is one of my favorites as well. Mahalia Jackson is absolutely terrific.
Shooter, he made 5 in a game last year against Notre Dame.
Florida State, a lot of ball screens, spread action, really for both ball clubs. Leonard Hamilton, the gaps are going to be a little bigger because of it. Florida State's going to have to drive those gaps now and keep spraying that ball around.
The pull-up wouldn't go for Rick. It was 2 victories head-to-head last year for Florida State against Louisville, both by double digits. Koprivica handed it off, and the lay-in.
And the definition of big would be what? Frequent. Frequent. That's frequent right there, isn't it?
Sure. And in the first half, now within 12.
Son, one of the things I admire the most from Carlik Jones coming from Radford, he is so appreciative of all the stuff that he gets.
Louisville working in conjunction with government officials in this area to set the capacity about 15% of the arena. Now his 11th year is home and at Radford.
Don't foul, just sit down and guard. Don't reach, don't lunge, sit down and guard.
They've made a game of it with a long way to go, more than 15 and a half, but not in the short term.
Not what you want. Hardest.
7 assists tonight.
Yeah, career high, right?
Mm-hmm. Calhoun.
So they get it done on both ends. They dominate the three-point line offensively and defensively. And they are legitimate Final Four national title contenders.
These two teams in the field. The Jimmy Jet is warming up.
Well, that's your way to transition to the Jimmy's Jet.
1 out of 2 for Carl.
Wide Open School is an easy-to-use
fake kick. Gray for 3. Boy, beautiful offense. Gray just can't knock down the shot. This is just the start of a long and fun.
Visit your Brooks would have scored, got fouled, or both, I think.
So about 5 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock.
North Carolina and pressuring them a little bit more in the second half, because Carolina did a pretty darn good job of handling that pressure in the first.
Very balanced scoring for Carolina first half. 5. No, they can't, evidently. It's a common foul from what I just heard the PA announcer say. And again, Jay.
22 points. Buckeyes with a 10-point lead. It's getting late in Champaign. There is Sharif Cooper. Dropped a cool 54 in his first 2 career games.
Redshirt junior from Fort Lauderdale. He does it all. He can handle it, goes to the glass on every possession. I mean, he's their leading rebounder. Also leads them in steals for one of those win streaks, and that was the North Carolina win streak of 19 from 82 to 85. Had I not been playing for Duke, I think that might have been broken.
Followed his own miss. Loose ball belongs to Carolina.
Carolina needs to look inside here.
So this Florida State starting five, the first deviation in 8 games for Leonard Hamilton, and the first career start in 37 career games for Raiquan. Make sure you're not in contact with everybody on your roster if anything goes wrong. But he said, you know, I really hope that I'm getting transparency from my guys, and you can NC State, MJ Walker, I like the way he put it. They try to break you down physically so that you can't function mentally. Cross-court pass and a floater.
Be aggressive, be the aggressor offensively. Pack have the personnel to do so.
Thunderberg flies in, rejects Polite. Waiting on the other block, Raiquan Gray. The Florida State freshman 6'9" point guard quickly gets it up the floor for Gray. Lowered shoulder.
Win the turnover margin in a game like this, where that is critical to Pack's success. This is just a grouping of things coming to a head. But there is no resistance at the rim. There is no fear from the Noles in driving it.
Polite puts it on the deck. Floater.
Charge for the Florida State offense and make something happen. Raiquan Gray can't convert.
You know, a lot has been made of Scotty Barnes and well-deserved.
The glass boards up all around the court. Here's Gray for 3. Offensive rebound, Walker. Seminoles. Going off the dribble. The senior trap shooting over Gray and knocking it in.
And display. And most teams, you don't like your point guard in, and that's the reason why. You get a leak out on the other end. But Barnes is 6'9". Clemson willing to play at a much faster tempo in this second half. They're looking to push the ball up the floor.
Perhaps because they struggled against
the most mentally tough team will come out in the regular season anyway and be the winner.
Careless play by Newman there. Went up in the air, didn't know where he was going with it. 2020, the Tigers are going to get the Seminoles here at Little John.
Well, not enough people to storm the court here tonight, and it's
dribble drive ends up in the corner. Rebound Cornwall. Cornwall from the corner, Lance Terry.
Limp off the floor, not an easy thing to do.
Third foul on Reed. Gray. And the rebound. Those are just their last 7. Leaded by 3 with 9:25 to play.
Being a fan on a budget gets tough. Our agents do the legwork, so saving on auto insurance is easy. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
And then at Syracuse, at Pitt. And then here NC State and Carolina. So pretty stout first 6 games.
In high school, he was the Mr. Basketball in the state of Florida, the first ever to come to UCF.
Gray couldn't get it. Malik Osborne saved it. Raiquan Gray, they're giving it to him, and he hits it.
To be pretty efficient. In the half court, especially with a lot of new faces, as you can see, it's a struggle.
As it was there, leading to a... Wyatt Wilkes, known for his shooting, gave it up. And Gray's got another. Off the Koprivica ball screen. Walker was met by Mahan. Now a nice shot fake from Raiquan Gray, but too strong. 5 on the floor for the Seminoles. Shot clock winding down on Gray. Barnes skips it. Gray pulls up. Nice runner.
Florida State trying to maintain what has gotten them to the 15th ranking to start ACC play. Tough take, and it's a jump.
You got to make some shots, and so Florida State only got 2 points here early in the game, so it's hard to beat anybody like that.
Raiquan break.
It's hard for Usher to go get it.
We show you there that we got a great doubleheader for you on Thursday. ACC with MJ Walker with 4 seconds left. Finds in the corner. That rattles.
State Seminoles got back quickly, and those were not uncontested layups.
Tapped around, it falls to the 6.
MJ Walker, first jumper of the game, missed. And that is what, to me, two here on Florida State's home court. Florida State has a 25-game win streak here, and they've won 40 straight games against non-conference.
Size, they just consume you when you get in there as a ball handler.
Nice movement. Again, Florida State opens ACC play on Tuesday against Georgia Tech. Coming up after us. Off the mark.
Be able to stretch it out a little bit, but man, for him to be able to score as easily as he does in the post and then gets fouled so much, he is a very difficult cover.
Not bad, 8 points, but 6 rebounds, 6 assists. They'll get a second effort. Gray will drive the baseline and slam it in.
Indiana's got 7 turnovers in this first half by 7 different players. Tremendous balance on the turnovers.
Somehow, I don't think
Al Durham tried to get the ball up court quickly for an easy score. He ran right into the back of Trace Jackson Davis. That was almost like a butt fumble.
Tipped up and in. It's Gray who got it. Calhoun will kick it. Tell you what, Scotty Barnes has been really, really quiet as they hoop
the ball from getting to the screen. I mean, what do they do? You can't really tell what they're doing, but what you tell what Indiana's doing, they're taking advantage of Florida State's ball screen defense on these 2 plays.
You got the depth in the timeout and basketball to Indiana. Instead, the Seminoles will keep it. Trying to get a shot in the air and at the buzzer, and it will not. Gray to the paint, slashing in. Rebounded by Osborne. Shot clock down to 7. Walker trying to use that screen into the lane. Shot clock at 1. Here's Gray. Airmailed it. Per game. A little bit of an injury apparently not long before the start of this game. He was a late scratch. Going to get it downstairs for an easy 2.
Nick Jones for Louisville has really played well in the early part of the season. Chris Mack's got his team playing hard and doing a good job early on last year. And they have the number 3 recruiting class, and all the freshmen that Niele Ivey is going to get to coach this year can all play. But they have really been...
Indian heritage. His Indian name means young man with blessed days, which his hoping means in March and in early April coming up. So Florida State with the basketball as we get underway here in the second half. Barnes giving it up here for Gray. And the effort by Adeduyan. And here's Barnes on a run. Right down the lane. Beautifully done there on the...
There, coming off this last time out. Florida State has another level of energy here defensively. A couple of stops in a row and some easy buckets.
In the corner, Evan. No. Second effort, Gray with a miss.
He's the leading freshman assist guy in the league. Rookie of the year in the ACC and 6th man of the year.
And that's Carolina just does not get back in time. For 13 tonight, Love is now, but boy, some of his makes have been timely.
Really nice job by Baycott to stay in front of Raiquan Gray.
What an answer by
the all-star model that we currently have. So I think you make a distinction between those 2.
Okay, so I go back to, I still think regardless that...
And we're going to work that core.
Find that balance.
Look how great this is.
Good shooting team.
What a pass by Raiquan Gray to find Ngam, who got the roll. Here is Gray leading the run out. Extra pass, Nate Jack into the mid-range.
Shown it in select players. He was telling me during Raiquan Gray's redshirt year, watch out, this young man can do it all. He's going to be really, really good.
Foul on the penetration by MJ Walker. Caleb, a McDonald's All-American.
Country, 12 minutes into the first half here in a rivalry game in Coral Gables.
Much better ball movement for the Seminoles this time, and it results in a three-point wide open look.
Courtesy of Cedar Calhoun, 46% from three, who now has 9 early ones for the Noles. He comes up hobbling for the Canes. Nate Jack with another 3. With as gregarious as Scotty Barnes is, he might have had something to say to Raiquan Evans at halftime in the locker room here at the Watsco Center as Koprivica starts the second half.
What they thought was a deep, talented team, and they just kept losing guys.
Scotty Barnes, the transition slam. Barnes the rebound. He's got the size
Connie
advantage
Hawkins
on
or
Wong.
something there with one hand?
He found Gray, who dumped it up.
And he's second in assist turnover ratio. And Leonard Hamilton was telling us last night that he's never played point guard before. Great pass.
That ball should. He's a transfer from Rice. Florida State also has a transfer from Rice and Malik Osborne. They didn't play together there, but Polite wide open. He makes it.
Just his 4th game of the season. He's now 6 of 12 from three-point distance. And that one from way downtown.
Quick start, not the norm in a noon game with that compressed preparation time, but both teams getting good and warmed up.
Another three-pointer. This time it's
A lot of back screening again to get guys into the paint area on the post. They come in from the top and establish. It's tough to guard a guy on the move.
tough to get just now 8 times this season. He'll trigger the inbounds. Throw the touchdown pass to Barnes ahead of everybody. Double-fisted jam, Scotty Barnes.
And they try to slow you down and give you different looks.
Florida State into its bench. Serdar Calhoun coming off a double-double. The basket plus the 5 of 20 from 3. Koprivica setting the screen. Nate Jack hits from the outside.
And we'll just let our work speak for itself.
Yeah, this is a team that likes to play with the chip on their shoulder, let the nation disrespect them, keep them out of the top 25 league, and the revenue that television brings in for those conference tournaments. Will it become a push and pull of them being told from a higher power that you don't get it?
Wilkes with a shot fake. That's some sweet music right there.
Sit there and watch this. It's going to hurt big time.
Another 3 missed. This time Hunter Tyson, but sneaking inside.
play as many as 11. The bench might be a little shorter tonight without Polite. The pull-up jumper from the wing wouldn't go, and the rebound down to Raiquan Grassy.
What's incredible about those numbers, only twice in the last 5 years in Division I has a team gone with those kind of numbers in back-to-back games. The last team to do it.
He's a really good player that just hasn't played well yet, but he's going to.
And his three-point shooting numbers have been getting a little bit better bit by bit. See how it feels. Who knows? Maybe he can get back in there. But right now, they're without their leading scorer in MJ Walker. And now a steal by Kessler. Big momentum shift here in the last minute or so.
Footer in the lane over size on the run rather than shooting it from the catch spot.
And Gum back into the game for Florida State, being held by Kessler right now.
All 2-2 in ACC play. Every game they've played in the ACC has been close. All of them decided by 5 points or fewer. Gray puts it up, and Barnes. Not just solid in the ACC, but solid nationally. From the corner, it's Walker. The three is good.
It's a commitment to improvement. There's so many avenues to do so in the game now.
Coming your way belongs to NC State, down by 30. So you've got some, but not many. And Jordan,
Three out of the corner won't go for Stupion. Started that game missing their first 19 shots. A little bit of a struggle on the road. Lance Terry looks around. Loose ball.
Scotty Barnes, not known for his outside shooting. 4 minutes left in regulation. Walker, straight on three.
Their basic best defense is their matchup zone. Interesting to see how long they stay man-to-man against the Seminoles.
Now the height advantage will be evident on three. Way too much on it, but tapped out. And an offensive rebound for the Seminoles. Over to Wyatt Wilkes, who knocks it down.
Light speaking 3 languages, Sam. Italian, French, and English. And as somebody who struggles to speak one, I got mad respect for Anthony Blight's ability. Some moments here in the second half.
Niles Lane in the game for the first time, number 44 in white. He's a freshman out of New Jersey. Wilkes.
Get to see him operate a little bit. Very solid college debut. Not a whole lot of scoring. They work it inside of the big fella. Hook dry with a quick step, but no. Quick jump shot in the air, and all. Pass was tipped. Here's Gray, who is the man in the first half for the Seminoles. Osborne, yes, knocks down
away from the basket and then roll him down and get a mismatch in the low post.
Barnes, long distance. He got it. Osborne lets fly and knocked her.
Raiquan Gray bulls his way into the lane, and Leschewski draws the charging foul.
Benefit of Florida State early here in this second half.
Goodwin's pass nearly goes out of bounds. Works behind the back.
Chance that Scotty Barnes gets the offensive board. And that's the game within the game that you see players playing all the time. But turns out to be in the benefit of Notre Dame.
On offense so they can be able to set their defense. And I think they have to attack on offense.
Well, they set the defense and they forced the turnover off the Jay Heath miss. Yeah, he's really interesting, and he's been playing so well coming down the stretch here.
Well, he lost that one. He dribbled it into trouble, and that's because he plays for a team that plays a lot of guys.
He does turn it over. Not
20 points or more off turnovers, but Florida State was able to capitalize just a bit more than Tar Heels were.
This is Wyatt Wilkes with a basketball. Out there. They certainly are enjoying the opportunity to play in front of the fans as well. Pass for Baycott, knocked away by a diving Walker.
Once again, we'll see if Scotty Barnes' impact is similar as it was when he came into the game to start the first half.
Yeah, this has been a carbon copy of the start of the game. Carolina took a 5-0 lead.
Be very welcoming as to what was said. Right now, we'll have 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
If quality of life feels like an oxymoron, if home is the most important word in work-from-home policy, Ohio is for you. With our business-friendly...
is key for the ACC this year, and that's going to be the best matchup to see who will get into the tournament or will both those teams be able to make it in there? And right now,
season games scheduled. They play these Hurricanes at home next week, and then they finish the season at Louisville, and they're Raiquan Gray with a travel ability to help out against pressure.
Through the lob that time, a bit too ambitious, looking for Koprivica.
Barnes has come off the bench. Koprivica came off the bench in this game.
Nice steal by Elijah Olaniyi after bother him and take it personally. He tried not to let it discourage him.
Well, God, people like Leonard Hamilton have done such a great job opening.
Bounds. Now let's see. I think we may have better information, and the ball will belong to Pitt. And really excited to play. Not that Pitt wasn't excited to play, but Florida State came out and they were demonstrative all season about the Florida State balance. In that first half, it just seemed like everybody got a couple of rebounds, everybody got a couple of baskets, a turnover here. Bang knees. But here he is at the foul line.
To JPJ having won 10 in a row. Oh, what an effort by Hauser.
The points are so important to Georgia Tech because for them to grind it out in the half court against these stifling defense of Florida State, it's going to be difficult. So what they need to do is get some.
Right misfires, another rebound by Koprivica. That's 6.
Yeah, he's been getting some double-doubles as of late. The big sophomore, 7-1.
Justin Champagnie.
He is fabulous. Leading the conference still in scoring and rebounding. How about Virginia, though? Their offense is Jay Huff ballot. A lot of people think he has to get to a Final Four. He's turned around 3 programs that were down and out when he took them over.
And this is a Miami team that's going to have to take advantage of 3-point opportunities like that from Wong, and they're also going to have to do a good job on the backboard. You can't give Florida State 2 opportunities.
Wong to the basket. Just left it short. Now a 3-on-2.
Give your skin the good stuff. Try Tula today at Tula.com.
Better sleep starts with understanding how you sleep.
Off action. Normally they're just a ball screen switching team. So far tonight they're switching it all and keeping it packed in on the backside.
Strong to the goal.
He's been a real mainstay for the Seminoles for a couple of years, but with the departure of such good players like Devin Vassell, Trent Forrest, Patrick Williams, Walker has stepped into it.
Obviously great coaches, but North Carolina gets a score off a broken play, but Carolina's struggling to get the ball in bounds when they go to out of bounds underneath or when they. And then another pivot foot. And that was a forced turnover that wasn't called. And remember, Florida State hit a 3 on that possession. And the reason I brought it up.
I kind of waffle back and forth with Mike. Do you show them this film or do you flush it and move forward? But I think you use it as motivation to say, we're going to find tough matches.
Sustained to be able to answer what Florida State has done.
And when you talk about this Pac team as one that needs to, has the talent when.
Sims a big hedge and a deflection, and the Clemson defense strikes quickly.
Both teams so very good. Stealing the basketball team offensively would have to do a lot off the dribble.
That's a travel in the inbounds pass. Raiquan Gray ran the baseline, and you can only do that after a made bucket. And look. 3 minutes of the ball game. Under 2 minutes we go at Little John.
Walker. Well, dribbled it off his foot. Picked up by Dufiol.
Found out he was going to be eligible 2 days before the college basketball season began. Gray dumps it off, but an offensive foul call.
Now the highest rated recruit ever during the Leonard Hamilton regime at Florida State.
Can't complete the 3-point play. Offensive rebound lost by Raiquan.
Georgia Tech has switched defenses tonight, trying to keep Florida State off balance.
And they come up with a turnover. Jordan Usher
Off and running. That was by #1 Trey Mann.
Florida State teams, Sam, typically a quick preparation, but I mean, there's a lot to go through in terms of where cuts are going to be. And the thing about Richmond, Sam, is when you have old guys.
In North Florida, they average 12 a game. They're going to need probably 16 in this one if they're going to have a chance to win.
They fumbled that. Endicott.
I think Florida State has done a very good job tonight of keeping the ball moving. It hasn't really gotten stuck in anyone's hand.
Hard to believe that a man who is 6'8", 260 pounds can do those kinds of things.
Could slot in on the defense. Through the lob that time, a bit too ambitious, looking for Koprivica. One back the other way, and there's Raiquan. Shooters off the deep Florida State bench. We've gone a few minutes past the media timeout window. Some tired legs, and Brooks trying to throw one down.
Neath. Guama working the offensive glass. Mucius trying to dribble around. Wilkes got knocked away at the last second. Here's Moore from the line. The final 12 seconds. The lead is 6. Antonio driving. He's looking for a jam right at the rim. He got.
Osborne missed the bunny. Chance to take the lead. Alvarado excel.
Championship. We're on the precipice of something like that. That's what we're striving for. To be able to see that through, what an honor that would be.
How close every single Carolina game at a conference play has been. Their first 5, all decided by 6 points or.
This game just feels like a grinder. That's what just and a good run out by Polite.
Raiquan F. made 4.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
There's bitter days.
For a good reason. Nice take. And very stout beards. It's an aged team, but they're going to be tough. They are, we saw it against.
Trying to build on a slender advantage here on the road. Remember, the Seminoles have won their last 24.
because Florida State, every common foul, they're shooting free throws.
Alvarado pulled up for Walker, corrals it, and then Black picks it off. Bad decision there by Walker. Love for three. Got it.
Now, do you allow Notre Dame to add to that lead, or do you have some momentum going into the halftime locker room for the Seminoles?
This and get back into it.
Well, they tried to run action to get MJ Walker a good look, and he got the good look, but unable to knock it down to start this. We will never really be able to judge that, like you said, in 2031 when we talk about it. You know, we will have now seen
over Virginia a couple of weeks ago.
The ball's got to move if you're Boston College.
Moved at that time.
Here's Caleb Love, the 6'4" freshman point guard from St. Louis. He Coach of the Year 3 times in his career, and he could be heading for a 4th this year after having lost 3 players, 3 starters, all now in the NBA, including a couple of...
I don't know if he was inbounds when he touched that basketball, but regardless, I don't think you can be the first person to touch it coming back in. As you see it go.
The starters for the Hurricanes. Isaiah Wong is a go, and that's a good sign because he rolled his ankle on Saturday in a game against Georgia Tech. Walker skying for the rebound.
Now, Miami would like to take a break when they can get it, but I'm not sure.
Past the media timeout window, some tired legs, and Brooks trying to throw one down. He had a few of those pop.
Man, Jonathan Isaac, Wayne Bacon, all those guys have been drafted in the last, I think, 4 years. And, you know, they develop at Florida State.
As 2 players come down with it, ultimately it's pulled down by Aguama. And now quickly releasing and scoring, and that's through both.
Out on the floor, and then when their shift is over, they come and get a break.
It does remind you a little bit of a hockey team coming over the boards, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Witt long range. Now we're down to 3.5 minutes to go in regulation. Wake Forest by 1. 72-71. Williamson launching a 3.
Moore engulfed. Shot clock at 10. Alvarado from the outside.
You have to go out on most of their players, and that just opens up the inside for Koprivica. You have to pick your poison. This is where Georgia Tech can really do some damage. The cutting, the screening, keeping Florida State on defense, working to create an open shot.
24 from three-point land, averaging almost 20 points per game in a 3-game stretch, and then you go ice cold.
Well, sometimes Mike DeVoe lets you.
And today they're without both Earl Timberlake and Elijah Olaniyi, among the other players they've been missing this year, including Sam Wardenberg, Rodney Miller, and Chris.
Opportunities, Miami dodges a bullet.
Koprivica, a high percentage finisher at the rim, 60%.
Back in the door, because Florida State has played down to the level so far in terms of offensive execution. But again, Florida State's defense rises to the
side for McGusty, scored 20 on Sunday. Long himself averages 17 a game. Speaking of Halls of Fame, by the way, congratulations and the start of the NCAA tournament of choosing whether to play.
Well, it's a very interesting conversation. Instruction comes from the league, to be blunt about it. It may not be a choice for these universities to choose to sit out, and that'll be.
There's that last foul, by the way, on Raiquan Gray. Newman.
They take such pride in playing defense, the Florida State kids. Again, that's a trademark of them. I'll tell you, guy that's a very important guy at Florida State gets no pump. The nose control, putting the hurt to the Tigers.
The hoop, he stopped, and they turned it over.
Watch Koprivica just dive out of the ball screen and just goes to work. And Carlik Jones initially gets caught on the backside. He tries the front, can't take away.
It didn't look like much contact from up here, but I guess enough to warrant the call.
Yeah, just enough on the right shoulder, boom, to clip the right shoulder. A really good job of hanging there and taking it.
On Balsha Koprivica. Koprivica on the bench with those 4 fouls. First player in the game.
Carolina was in a 2-3 zone, but they weren't. They were in man, but Florida State was just not moving. That's why it looked like a little bit of a zone.
How close every single Carolina game in a conference play has been. Their first 5 all decided by 6 points.
Weak side was there. Manny Bates goes a long way. He ain't there, but you can't give up a drive that easy.
MJ Walker, high efficiency today, taking 4 it off with white sleeves on both legs. But that's an interesting look. You know, the high socks? No, just for fashion. That's it.
Just a 27% three-point shooter.
That's the next step for him, is to become a better jump shooter.
Davis, no. Gray down with a rebound. Harris gets a pretty good look. Gray, another rebound.
Boy, North Trent.
And look at Baycott run it down. Love rejected by Koprivica.
Got a screen up top by Baycott. Got the switch.
Driving. No foul. Florida State ball and a Carolina.
And you have to expect it's going to be a man on the ball.
Gray the rebound.
What a way, though, to start senior day in South Bend. He's one of 2 seniors on this.
The reason why I think that there is simply because of the familiarity of the building. Prentice Hub pulling up with 3. He knows this building, and he's been shooting a backdrop, knowing the environment in which they're playing.
Nate Laszewski. Here comes.
Because that puts so much more pressure on them to come up with turnovers against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame, quite frankly, is a team that doesn't turn the basketball over and knock off Florida State. But once again, Florida State is not the same team on the road that we see at the Tucker Center in Tallahassee. And the adjustment by Leonard Hamilton has forced Mike Gray to have to play differently. And it's been to the benefit of Florida.
Out on senior day and played inspired, looking to take down the 11th ranked team in the country. But Jogo is now on the bench with those.
Again, this is a good 3-point shooting team.
He does turn it over. Yeah, he doesn't embolden his case there for player of the year, but Florida State
impact early in the game, and you see the level of energy and effort that he brings to this Florida State team. And Coach Ham has talked about the Seminoles bench.
And Mr. Polite is just part of a tremendous perimeter shooting Florida State team. He is at.
If quality of life feels like an oxymoron, if home is the most important word in work-from-home policy, Ohio is.
And Scotty Barnes in the same sentence, saying that Scotty was watching Magic Johnson highlights. He's watched him on Instagram. He's studied his game.
Who are allowed in the Smith Center for the first time this season have seen their heels rally from 16 points down to take a 2-point lead.
Actually, Raiquan Gray is right around the ball.
Yeah, you can't give Florida State too many chances. Gray's got the rebound. Been a tough go of it for the Canes, of course. All the injuries they've dealt with this year, sitting at 3-12 in the ACC. And Wong went into trap. McGusty gave it up. Gack off the bounce. And here's Raiquan Gray leading. Senior walk-on who's helping the Canes at the controls. Raiquan Gray's got the rebound.
Tremendous pass.
Some tells me with as gregarious as Scotty Barnes is, he might have had something to see.
In the Atlantic Coast Conference, they had what they thought was a deep, talented team, and they just kept losing guys.
Anthony Walker, good battle on the boards. It's Gray, though, with the wrist team. Sure do. There's Walker. You said he's better driving and in the middle.
Have been that even though he shoots 35% from beyond the arc on the year, he's 1 for 10, now 1 for 11 in the.
Looking to get into the paint. Horton puts it up. Mid-ranger is short.
That's what you want to do. You drive Horton off.
Very effective against NC State. Had 7 boards, 3 blocks, and a season number. And as this season gets into the final home stretch, Osborne
both positions, and he's an excellent passer as well.
Shot clock running out. Jay Huff had to fire the 3, and it rims out. P. Clark, Virginia, with just 9 points nearly midway through the half. Casey Morcell, the sophomore. Mihai Clark was one of the stars of their win against Florida State in Charlottesville last year. He had 15 points. Casey Morcell, out it goes to Hauser, short with a three. Nobody
got such a good feel for the game and a good understanding of the game, and knew that that was basically a hockey assist, getting out of the, and had some good success trying to really affect Florida State with a little bit more pressure defense.
He's made his one free throw attempt. Got a couple of assists. Hard to believe that a man who is 6 feet 8, 260 pounds can do those kinds of things.
Could slot in on the defense.
Job opening doors for other people. Doors that weren't open for them. And if they weren't open for them, they basically kicked them down.
When Champagny jumps up in the air, he's stuck. And Calhoun was just waiting for him, and Florida State really, they're really there have been times when they've been bothered by the size. They keep attacking the basket.
Foul on Xavier Johnson.
Tech 0 for 6 from the floor, missed all 3 of his threes. So a good confidence booster today so far.
Bose was driving and got fouled. 4 from the line. In the final 12 seconds, the lead is 6. Antonio driving, was looking for a jam right at the rim. He got
Jack down the lane, the scoop. It stays with the Yellow Jackets. Sturdivant, the teardrop.
New year, new choices. Choose Smile. New year, new Smile that costs up to 60% less.
Championship. We're on the precipice of something like that. That's what we're striving for. To be able to see that through, what an honor that would be.
It's some firepower. Sims has got to get going a little bit. He's been certainly quiet.
Line trap spins.
Stay inside the lines when you could add some flavor to everything around you. A little cheesy here, crunch of color there. Discover the possibilities of just $1. Taco Bell,
where Gray played his high school ball. Now his dad's in his first year as the head coach at Warren Central in Indianapolis. DeAndre Davis on Balsha Pokervitsa. Pokervitsa on the bench with those 4 fouls. First player in the game.
The ACC, the traditional powers, Duke, North Carolina, not quite as powerful as they've been. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for ACC teams.
Back in transition. It's hurt you several times in this game. Off makes, off misses. The Noles are looking to run.
And now it's Daniels. Allen with the left. Yes, 70% from the game. So if that number holds for the rest of the night, that's a new Florida State record. In a conference game, the best they've ever.
That ends that drought right there. He's 0 for 6 from the field, 3 of his attempts from 3.
Showed a lot of promise. Like you said, he's really physically gifted. But during the pandemic, Oregon's facility shut down. He came back home to Orlando. He's the 8-time National Coach of the Year. I got to know Kevin. He was coaching up in New Jersey at St. Patrick's School.
Perry into traffic.
Trying to get the ball to Moses right. It somehow saves it right to right, and he decides to
finding drop-offs and scores.
Derucci hangs
to 18. Galloway, they'll move it quickly. Now going to be a traveling, leading 39-38.
Got the switch. Walker on Trace Jackson Davis. The conversation. And look, I get it. Some people don't even want to hear it. But I think having the conversation is a good thing.
Trying to build on a slender advantage here on the road. Remember, the Seminoles have won their last 24.
Jose Alvarado is an absolute marvel. That steal he just made, if you show him the ball, if he gets a glimpse of it, beautiful pass. My goodness.
He can probably play all 5 offensively as well. He's one of the best passers they have. Right. Spins, hesitates, and Hackett's looking for the lead. Kyle Sturdivant, 6'2 sophomore from Norcross, Georgia. And we're 4 in the league, the 2 seed. And there's a block by Koprivica, but look at Wright staying with it and drawing the foul.
Reach from behind, and it's been successful, but if you don't get it, it's a layup. The way Florida State's going to look at it, but I don't think it's a coincidence that they had 21 last time. They got 24 now.
What a strong drive and finish.
Was played in the same backcourt with Ralph Jackson.
Sturdivant getting some crunch time minutes. So yeah, great drive and dish. Oh! Davis, Love, Playtech all in the game together. Help again.
Good job by Davis to come behind and present him.
Sporn sometimes plays the 5. This is the only team in the conference that can really, have as many big bodies to throw out those, and they are on their feet right now trying to encourage their team in the last 90 seconds of the half.
And Koprivica had an excellent first half. He had 7 points, 7 rebounds.
Allison talked about getting the ball inside. They go right to. And look at Bacot run it down. Love rejected by Koprivica.
Walton, that could have been another 3.
Davis trying to shake Wilkes. 15 to shoot. Bacot strong.
Right. That was just an easy catch and shoot opportunity.
Davis driving by Gray. Koprivica got a piece of another.
Skills in the system we have. He shows his growth and maturity, and he says he's filling the valuable leadership role that we saw last year by current Utah.
And Mike Bray shuffling his lineup early here to start the second half. Frennis Hub, who started the second half, he and Dane Goodwin go out of the game. And now, sometimes we've said Jordan Cornett's name in these broadcasts because of those shot block records. Again, hey, Jordan's in the TV business right now. The more time
go, the Irish have come out on senior day and played inspired, looking to take down the 11th ranked team in the country, but Jogo is not.
Who's no longer a coach?
No.
Oh.
Who else has been fired as a head coach in the NBA?
Polite missed it. Track shoes are on here at the Tucker Center at the top corner of the backboard. Scott out of control, offensive foul.
Hand it to the other team right underneath the basket.
And then Jay Heath was trying to knife through the.
I think, Boston College, they've had a tough year, but I haven't seen any games that they've played where they've quit. Their effort has been there.
And Jay said that the locker room celebration at Connie Forum after the win was quite something because those guys have been dying.
Cunningham doing it again for the Cowboys. In this game, the fans who are allowed in the Smith Center for the first time this season have seen their heels rally from 6.
Everyone can come back next year, with the exception that's made by the NCAA this year, but he has another year to be able to come back and help Leonard Hamilton's team.
That's what they're looking for right there. Walker is not a very good three-point shooter. He likes to shoot out there, but he's not a very good shooter. Hard to believe that a man who is 6'8", 260 pounds can do those kinds of things.
Could slot in on the defense.
But on offense, that means you're really hurt.
That's spun out again on McGusty, but he got it back.
Usher sizing up Raiquan Gray, trying to drive him. Little running hook. Looked good, but left it.
Yes. He really understands how to pass and how to play with that pace. You don't have to go 1,000 miles an hour. Not a great shot.
Against North Carolina.
Put back by Raiquan Gray. Florida State shuffling the lineup to start the second half as well. And it's
hard to believe that a man who is 6'8", 260 pounds can do those kinds of things.
Could slot in on the defense in the last 10 games and trying to beat Miami for the 7th straight time. That'd be the longest winning streak ever for Florida State against.
Job opening doors for other people, doors that weren't open for them, and if they weren't open for them, they basically kicked them down.
The Beats, it's a 39-33 Florida State advantage. We'll bring you up to date with what's happening in the... It is Calhoun, his first. And free throws for Pittsburgh.
For McGusty, scored 20 on Sunday. Long himself averages 17 a game.
They take such pride in playing defense, the Florida State kids. Again, that's a trademark of them. I'll tell you a guy that's a very important guy at Florida State gets no public.
Virginia Tech has shot a gazillion free throws. And sooner or later, we're going to get a point, we think. We think, yeah. It's down, and the three falls for Barnes. So Scotty knocks in his 5th three of the season. Hey, this game just feels like a grinder. Hey, that's what...
Dufio. Barnwell driving. Goes all the way through. And then...
Showed a lot of promise. Like you said, he's really physically gifted. But during the pandemic, Oregon's facility shut down. He came back home to Orlando. He's the 8-time National Coach of the Year. I got to know Kevin. He was coaching up in New Jersey at St. Patrick's School.
Adams wants the clear out. He's got the mismatch with the 7'1" center on him. Perry into traffic.
Trying to get the ball to Moses Wright. It somehow saves it right to right, and he decides to...
For a good reason.
Nice take. Leading 39-38.
Got the switch. Walker on Trace Jackson Davis.
Trying to build on a slender advantage here on the road. Remember, the Seminoles have won their last 24.
Hub on the drive, had the mismatch. Floater over the top of her. Had a better season. Goodwin in that group as well as far as 6 Man of the Year candidates go in this league.
Basket brings it back up.
Here's Caleb Love, the 6'4" freshman point guard from St. Louis.
Trent Forrest won 2 state championships. Virginia Tech cutting that lead to 5 at halftime. Aline extending the range.
Chris Kamaji, the 7'4" senior for Leonard Hamilton's club in a long time. A little wheel route by McKeel Alex.
Zion for 3. Yes.
And had some good success trying to really affect Florida State with a little bit more pressure defense.
This and get back into it.
Well, they tried to run action to get MJ Walker a good look, and he got the good look, but unable to knock it down to start this.
4 years in Tallahassee to where now, as we heard from Mike Schmitz joining us earlier on our broadcast, he is absolutely on
the starters for the Hurricanes. Isaiah Wong is a go, and that's a good sign because he rolled his ankle on Saturday in a game against Georgia Tech.
That there have been times when they've been bothered by the size. They keep attacking the basket.
First in steals, 5th in assists in conference. Back-to-back 20-point games against Virginia and Duke.
Championship. We're on the precipice of something like that. That's what we're striving for. To be able to see that through, what an honor that would be.
And the start of the NCAA tournament of choosing whether to play.
Well, it's a very interesting conversation.
Some firepower. Sims has got to get going a little bit. He's been certainly quiet.
Line trap, spins.
Back in transition. It's hurt you several times in this game. Off makes, off misses. The Noles are looking to run.
The conversation. And look, I get it. Some people don't even want to hear it. But I think having the conversation is a good thing.
They're at 6'1". He's got 6.
The state.
Walton drives into the help of the 7-footer Koprivica. Armando Bake
deals deflections.
He is 6'9", was basically a power forward in high school as Kessler is fouled.
Allowing Notre Dame to continue to hold this double-digit lead.
Durham is the one he was getting, we believe.
But Doug, here's the other thing to it. We will never know who it was on. And again, the only people that
have also allowed fans. So until this guidance from the state of North Carolina changed this week, this was going to be the first time for the Noles. But
on the board like you do on the playground sometimes, and go get it yourself.
Barnes with a floater.
Virginia off an impressive home win against North Carolina.
And that basket allows Florida State to put full court pressure on that standstill jumper off.
There's McCoy, who has not played at all in the last 3 games, but
Musius trying to dribble around. Wilkes got knocked away at the last second. Here's
to see perhaps the ACC Player of the Year in Pitt's Justin Champagnie.
He is fabulous. Leading the
counter then for the Seminoles.
You just got to move on the airtime of the pass. When Alvarado decides to pass the ball, you have to
see a lot of gaudy numbers with Florida State. Everybody fulfills a role. Koprivica as good as any.
For him. And Ngom is really starting to come along. He, according to some of the things you were talking about before, about the difficulties.
Juice. BMW Plumbing. You're going to love us.
Rich Davis with you.
A lot of dribbling here on this possession for Georgia Tech.
Wright draws the foul.
Pfluger looks into the post. On his second peek in, he finds Durham, who's double teamed, and as he tries to dribble through it, has it taken away.
Got to be more.
A lot of teams so intimidated by Florida State's length on defense don't even try to run their offense. Louisville would win a tiebreaker if they're tied at the end of the year by virtue of its win at Duke in mid-January.
And then you got to try to reverse it, but look how far out the offense has to start.
I just think they're tired.
before, so of course you get more shots and you're making threes, you're going to have a chance to win.
And on those 7 made buckets for the Seminoles
against North Carolina.
Put back by Raiquan Gray. Florida State shuffling the lineup to start the second half as well, and it's
first half.
Florida State doing a great job switching. Most numbers aren't as high as some of the other candidates, but that's because he plays for a team that plays a lot of guys.
That have also allowed fans. So until this guidance from the state of North Carolina changed this week, this was going to be the first time for the Noles. But just 4 years in Tallahassee to where now, as we heard from Mike Schmitz joining us earlier on our broadcast, he is absolutely on
in the last 10 games and trying to beat Miami for the 7th straight time. That'd be the longest winning streak ever for Florida State against
the Beats. It's a 39-33 Florida State advantage. We'll bring you up to date with what's happening in the... It is Calhoun, his first. And free throws for Pittsburgh.
Virginia off an impressive home win against North Carolina.
And that basket allows Florida State to put full court pressure on in this game, which tends to happen when Virginia plays, that there aren't a lot of fouls called and there's a lot of physicality. 100 shot 60%, and coming back, it was crazy how well they played. But nothing Florida State does surprises me anymore. I think.
Who will make it is the question. DuBose has to kick it out. Stolen. Gray. Pass it
to see perhaps the ACC Player of the Year in Pitt's Justin Champagny.
He is fabulous. Leading the
first in steals, fifth in assists in conference. Back-to-back 20-point games against Virginia and Duke.
New year, new choices. Choose Smile. New year, new Smile that costs up to 60% less.
I see a lot of gaudy numbers with Florida State. Everybody fulfills a role. Copra-Pizza as good as any.
For him. And Ngom is really starting to come along. He, according to some of the things you were talking about before, about the difficulties
to Montana. Now he drives off the glass and good. And now a turnover.
Juice. BMW Plumbing. You're going to love us.
Rich Davis with you.
Nice Sharp, a very good passer. Cannot get it into Brooks in the post.
Great job by MJ Walker.
Time 1-1 for the Tigers on the other side of the break. Florida State leads by 3. Right up in the air in the paint. Seminoles are 0 for their last 5 at this end. Possession game on the 3 from Polite.
Well, you get the big swing right there. I mean, you get the 2 missed free throws. You get the 3 on the other end. Try to cut down on the vision and just really active hands.
Today we got word right before tip. You can maybe expect in the ballpark of 10 to 15 minutes for him. And UCF turns it over. Adams wants the clear out. He's got the mismatch with the 7'1" center on him.
Ball smalls. Well said. Entry pass picked off. The quick hands.
Gray comes away with the steal.